It's amazing to me, man. This weekend created social media discourse on X, on Instagram. No matter where I posted, people were chirping in my ear. No, this was the wrong move. No, this was the wrong decision. Now we have news as to why the decision was made. And this one flew right underneath everybody's nose. WWE could potentially be bringing back an iconic PLE/pay-per-view to their pay-per-view calendar, specifically for the feud between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, which would open up Pandora's box, prove me and everybody else right that stood their ground, that the ending to Clash at the Castle was the right move to make. We'll go over it today right here on OTS. Also, Ricochet. There are rumors that Ricochet could have one last match with Braun Breaker, being that he's under WWE contract through July. I got news on Ricochet no longer working for the WWE, and that one match with Breaker is not going to happen. All this and so much more right here on today's OTS, and that's where we will start with Ricochet. Ricochet gave his notice to WWE 2 weeks ago, leading to him dropping the WWE Speed title to Andrade before wrapping up his time in the company on last Monday's Raw. He was written off television when he was tossed into a WWE production truck and smashed through the windshield of a car by Braun Breaker, with WWE later noting that Ricochet suffered multiple upper body injuries and will be out of action for an undisclosed amount of time. They posted that on social media. Now, there has been talk about Ricochet making one more appearance for the company so that WWE can maximize this feud and maximize this situation. PWInsider.com is reporting today that the belief amongst sources is that Ricochet is done with the company and won't be making any more appearances. He remains internally listed as part of the roster ahead of his expected departure in July when his deal is up. He has yet to publicly comment on the situation. Now, I would have loved to see Ricochet and Braun Breaker get one match out of it, put Braun Breaker over, and goodbye to Ricochet. I thought the angle last Monday night was fantastic. I thought Braun Breaker looked vicious. I thought Ricochet played his role. I seen some people murmuring about, oh, Ricochet is buried. I mean, Ricochet, A, is out the door. B, they didn't bury him. B, they kept him looking strong up until the attack for the segment that aired. The production truck spot, the windshield spot. I think Ricochet looked, all things considering, I think Ricochet looked very good. And Samantha Irvin, shout out to her. Nice little touch, adding her to the overall situation by her getting loaded into the ambulance and riding off with Ricochet as the doors closed and the ambulance drove away. I thought it was great. Where Braun Breaker goes from here, I don't know. Some people are saying that an Intercontinental Championship run could be in his future. No, that's reserved for Chad Gable. Ricochet, I could see Ricochet, just like everybody else, ending up in AEW. Will he be used better over there? No, he's not. I would say no, he's not going to be used better. But Ricochet's going to go there, make just as much money. He's going to wrestle the style that he wants, get his name out there, show everybody what he couldn't do in WWE. He's going to wrestle the likes of MJF and Darby Allin and Pac, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland, Samoa Joe, Adam Cole. When he comes back, you name it, Ricochet's going to have all those star-studded matches underneath his belt. He's probably going to end up working the indies as well to double dip on the income that he could really make. But the most money he's going to make is obviously going to be with AEW. Don't think he's going to be better off over there compared to WWE. He'll be the Ricochet of old that we used to know before he jumped ship to WWE. But I'm excited to see what he does. I'm a big fan of his. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does at this stage of his career and where he takes that stardom. And I would love to see a match with Braun Breaker, but it doesn't look like we're going to get that within WWE. He is out the door, and he will become a free agent in July, and he will end up in AEW. WWE is set to bring back a classic event for the anniversary of the Hell in a Cell match. Now, why would they be doing that? Why would WWE be thinking about such long-term booking when it comes to something like this, man? We haven't really seen much of Hell in the Cell since Triple H took over, right? So this all ties into what happened at Clash at the Castle, and you'll understand why the ending of Clash was the way that it was. According to PW Insider Elite, this is a paid subscription to pwinsider.com. They say that there have been creative pitches within the company to bring back the classic event known as Bad Blood. 1997. Possibly the greatest Hell in a Cell match of all time between The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, with the greatest debut of a character on WWE television with Kane, The Undertaker's brother, debuting at the end of that match to stare down The Undertaker, ripping the cell door open or off its hinges, and Shawn Michaels beating The Undertaker inside Hell in a Cell, which was the start of their tremendous feud, dating back to the SummerSlam event that was that year between Undertaker and Bret the Hitman Hart, with Shawn Michaels as a special guest referee, the greatest ending to a title match in WWE history. PW Insider Elite states that the reason behind the return is to celebrate the 27th anniversary of the first ever Hell in a Cell match. The steel structure was unveiled at the pay-per-view in 1997, like I just mentioned, named Bad Blood. In the main event, The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels entered the cell to face off in a very historic match that featured scenes never before seen in WWE at that time. The report goes on to reveal that the plan would be to have a Hell in a Cell match as part of the returning PLE, before mentioning that a weekend date in October lands on the exact day of the inaugural Bad Blood pay-per-view in which that event took place. Bad Blood was first held as an in-your-house pay-per-view event. Those events were great. In 1997, before returning in 2003 and in 2004. The original adaptation of Bad Blood was spelled with two D's, B-A-D-D. Then they revised it and named it Bad Blood, B-A-D, taking away the extra D. Triple H faced off against Kevin Nash in a Hell in a Cell match in 2003 for the World Heavyweight Championship, with Mick Foley as the special guest referee. And the following year, Shawn Michaels once again entered the steel structure to face Triple H. In March 2017, the company announced that they would revive the event, originally scheduled for July 9th, 2017 at the XL Center in Hartford, Connecticut. However, those plans were canceled in favor of the event that Vince McMahon aptly named Great Balls of Fire. If the event does return and feature a Hell in a Cell match, it will be the first time the stipulation will have been used since we saw it at WrestleMania 39 between Edge and Finn Balor. Now, I know a lot of people are upset, and rightfully so. You Scottish folk are upset that you paid premium tickets, premium money for tickets, and you were disappointed because your hometown guy, the biggest superstar the company has from that part of the world, lost in the main event the way that he did. I get it. I'm not blaming you guys for being upset. You can be upset. But I want everybody to come together, and I want cooler heads to prevail. See a lot of social media, online discourse about all of this bullshit as of late. And I'm getting blowback from it because I actually like the ending, because I'm smart. I see where they're going. I see the long-term vision. I see the long-term booking. And half of these fucking AEW cultists, they don't understand anything in regards to long-term booking. They don't. So if everybody crying, oh, well, JD should have hated it. How could he like that shit ending? I'm sorry, guys. Your Lord and Savior, Tony Khan, doesn't have a fucking clue as to what long-term booking is. He used to. Cody used to. He used to whisper in his ear, hey, yo, TK, long-term booking. Now, Tony Khan doesn't give a shit about long-term booking, and he books by the seat of his fucking balls. Regardless, the ending at Clash at the Castle now makes sense. How many of you understood what they did at the end of the pay-per-view? Some of you did. Most of you didn't. Now, with this news coming to you from PW Insider and Mike Johnson, Now, hopefully, you see the vision. If Drew McIntyre won the World Heavyweight Championship at Clash of the Castle, what exactly would he be doing as the World Heavyweight Champion? Let's go over the options. He would win the World Heavyweight Championship at Clash of the Castle and do what with it? What would he do exactly? Two things happen there. One, he gets a rematch with Damian Priest due to the interference of CM Punk. He would lose the title back to Damian Priest. Why would you want to hotshot the title off of somebody who's got a little bit of momentum in himself in Damian Priest, only to put it on Drew McIntyre and then put it right back on Damian Priest? That ain't going to work for me, brother. That's not going to work for me. If Drew McIntyre won the title at Clash of the Castle and went through Money in the Bank and then ended up at SummerSlam, what are we left with? Are you going to do Drew McIntyre and Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship? Because, I mean, if you guys paid attention, Gunther is the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther won the King of the Ring this year in Saudi Arabia. He is the main event of SummerSlam by default. So no matter if it was Damian Priest or Drew McIntyre, everybody's crying it should have been Drew McIntyre. If McIntyre was the champion, he would have dropped it to Gunther anyway, because here's a little spoiler for you, folks. Gunther is not leaving Cleveland without the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. If that match went on, he'd end up losing. And if you did that match, SummerSlam is the destination for Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. That is your co-main event for SummerSlam. It's going to be a huge selling point for the show. So all of these things I have given to you, and I've explained it to you. People are still saying, oh, well, it's still the wrong decision. No, we're not going to hotshot the title because it doesn't deserve it. They don't deserve it. The title doesn't deserve it. And why are you going to convolute plans when the simple plan all along was Punk and McIntyre at SummerSlam, a feud that doesn't need the fucking title? Any more questions? Would you want Gunther to beat McIntyre so you then cry in August that he didn't fucking have a long reign? Or would you rather him beat Damian Priest, who's held the title since WrestleMania, has had a respectable reign, and then he could drop it to Gunther, who we all know is going to be the World Heavyweight Champion anyway? So now with this anniversary event, WWE possibly bringing back Bad Blood, CM Punk is not slated to be cleared until the end of July, which would give him SummerSlam clearance. WrestleVotes, they updated everybody today in a Twitter post. The internal roster sheet that was used at last week's Raw listed CM Punk as returning to action in late July, according to the verified insider on X, WrestleVotes. So if that's the case, the time frame would keep Punk on the shelf through Money in the Bank, which takes place in just a few weeks on July 6th from Toronto. This obviously is unfortunate because we all want Punk back, but he's not going to be wrestling anyway. So why not make sure he's right, make sure he's ready, and book him for SummerSlam, because that's the match with Drew McIntyre. Boom. He's not even ready to come back yet, but he's still integrated in the plans. And now what you're getting is long-term booking. CM Punk has stated he's going to do everything possible to stop Drew McIntyre from being the World Heavyweight Champion. McIntyre has been obsessed with CM Punk to a point where he put his obsession over the World Heavyweight Championship. And nobody expected, he didn't expect CM Punk to be in Scotland, but there he was. The ramifications, the karma that comes back. McIntyre wanted to troll Punk in all the weeks he's been out, all the weeks he was injured, right? All that karma and trolling came back to bite him in the ass because Punk got the last laugh. How he got a referee shirt, I don't give a shit. The ending was great and it was shot great. The feud doesn't need the title. Their first match will take place at SummerSlam. The second match will take place in September at whatever pay-per-view that will be named. And then the third and final match of this feud, which is going to go 3 matches, will take place inside a Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood to celebrate the 27th anniversary of Hell in a Cell. That's the vision. This is a feud that is aptly named for Bad Blood. This is a personal feud now. We're getting the first match at SummerSlam, the second match in September, and the third match in October. Now you know why. Now you know why the ending of Clash of the Castle was the way that it was, because look at what we have coming up in October. What happens after October? I don't really give a shit. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But the simple fact of the matter that most of these people on social media didn't understand what the fuck was going on and cried about the ending of Clash of the Castle. You don't understand jack shit. If you understood and watched the show and saw where it was going, then you would understand that the decision that was made at the pay-per-view on Saturday afternoon was the right call. McIntyre, at this current stage, does not make any sense as World Heavyweight Champion. All you people, all you instant gratification merchants that came from the Vince McMahon era, I'm going to need you to go away and shut your fucking mouths. This is a new era. A lot of you people really exposed yourselves this past weekend because I never heard a peep out of you guys when NXT was delivering not only the best in-ring product, but the best storylines creatively in all of pro wrestling coming out of Black and Gold. Triple H did the same thing down there, and now he's adopting this mentality with his team on the main roster. Story is king. Long-term booking over short-term gratification. Long-term booking over making a moment that everybody would have been happy with, but in the grand scheme of things wouldn't have made a fucking lick of a sense for the long-term vision of WWE and this storyline. Any more questions? Any more questions? I don't know what it is that you guys are having trouble understanding here. Bad blood. Now you know why the decision was made at Clash of the Castle to do the screw job of Drew McIntyre at the pay-per-view. Thank you guys very much for all your support. If you enjoyed today's little mini extra before Monday Night Raw, I would appreciate a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Hit that thumbs up. Sound off. It is yours in the comment section. Hit that thumbs up, and let's try for 1,000 likes today on OTS. Follow me on social media at JD from LI206. I will be tweeting live tonight during Monday Night Raw. Should be a big night. What is Drew McIntyre going to do? Where's the Wyatt family going to show up? What's next for Braun Breaker? What's next for Chad Gable? Lots of big things happening on Monday night. I'll be live after the show is over right here on YouTube for the OTS post show. And make sure you guys go check out all the other content on the channel, including that great Clash of the Castle post show that we did on Saturday afternoon. Everything you need is on the homepage right now. Guys, I will see you live tonight for Monday Night Raw right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.